Well, hi everyone, and welcome back to Adam's Fishing on a truly horrific day. The wind is absolutely whistling through the swim here, and it looks like it's about to absolutely chuck it down. So I'm going to pop on my my thermal waterproofs so that I'm ready for anything. I've tried to do a little bit of filming with the GoPro. I don't know how well it came out. I'm not sure I had the angle quite right, but I'll try and get a little bit of that in by way of an intro for this video. But those of you who've watched before may have noticed that I'm down on the bigger lake on my club ticket. James got down earlier than me and secured kind of like a double swim for us, which is really cool. It's also really near where you park the cars, which is also really convenient. Given the way the water's moving, it looks like an ocean out there with rolling waves. It's not surprising that James did a thorough lap of the lake. He really took his time and saw no signs of action, I'm afraid. And you'd be really hard pushed to through all of this. So kind of plumped for these swims because A, they're convenient, they're good social swims, and this particular swim that I'm in now, I've definitely caught fish out of before. If you look back at videos from last year and the year before, during the nice weather months, I've had some really nice fish out of this particular sort of dugout swim that I'm in here. I'll bring the camera out so you can see what I'm talking about. Hang on a sec. Don't know if you can, let's just do a little bit of jiggery pokery. There you go. So there's where I am in this sort of dugout swim, and yeah, I've fished it before and I've had some success, so really hoping that's the case again today. That's the plan anyway. Just down for a few hours. Haven't got all night, unfortunately. Got to get back home for the kids. But I say a few hours, I mean, I can stay out as late as I want, really. So yeah, it might be till 12 a.m. or 1 a.m. or something like that. But we'll see. It depends on how horrific the conditions get and whether the fish are biting, I suppose. I've been soaking some boilies for the last 24 hours in a mixture of sort of manila liquid and water, and hopefully they're nice and soft now. The difficulty I'm going to have is catapulting them out and actually getting them to where I intend to fish. But hey, we'll cross that bridge in just a minute. For now, I'm going to get some rigs sorted, start thinking about casting them out. Well guys, sorry I'm in darkness, but I'm right under the brolly because, as predicted, the rain has come in. It's absolutely wicked out there, unfortunately. You can see the two rods here. They're on stage stands and pointing roughly straight out in front of me. One's slightly off to my right hand side. I had a feel around, I think I got a little bit of footage on the GoPro, had a feel around with a few casts just to see what's going on out there. And whereas in years gone by it's been very like heavily weedy and padded, and you've really had to find the gaps in the pads to fish, I've not really felt any of that. So I don't know if the fisheries team have been down and done some clearing out possibly, or everything's just died back and just hasn't even started to grow back yet. But yeah, really nice smooth pullbacks on the rod, and the lead's not hanging up on anything, and no sort of detritus coming in on the lead either. So yeah, pretty clear out there, which on the one hand is quite good because it gives you a bit of confidence that you're not fishing right in a snag, but on the other hand doesn't give me so much confidence because I know that the fish used to love those lily pads, so they could be absolutely anywhere today. Although the wind is hacking down into this end of the lake, I'm not quite sure of the science of it. They say you should fish on the end of a wind in certain conditions, but I can't remember what they say. Is it a warm wind? Fish on the end of a warm wind, something like that. Well, it's not a particularly cold wind, so hey, there might be something in it, who knows. Anyway, left-hand rod fishing pretty much straight out in front of me, about halfway across this side of halfway, and the right-hand rod a little bit closer again, but slightly off to my right-hand side. The right-hand rod's going to be using the Ronnie rig, which I've tried on the last couple of sessions unsuccessfully on the smaller lake, but you never know, here might be different. And the left-hand rod is my trusty old Snowman rig with a little mesh PVA bag on it too. So the rain is just starting to ease off, so now's probably a good time to cast those rigs out and then try and send a little bit of bait out there. To do that in any sort of accurate way is going to be nigh on impossible, but I'll try my best. Well guys, I've never been the best caster in the world, but those really weren't great. The wind didn't help me at all, and made it really difficult, in fact impossible for me to feel the lead down, which is something I do try to do. I don't always succeed, but I do try to do to give me that little bit of extra confidence that it's actually hit the deck, and you feel that when it goes well. Didn't go well on this occasion. Like I say, the wind just whipping through, just arcing that line across the lake. Just, yeah, didn't really have any contact there. Plus, because I was casting against the wind, I hit the clip really too hard with the second rod, and the rig actually started sort of almost like bouncing back towards me. So appalling, really. I'm going to leave them for now. The left-hand one was better than the right-hand one, and perhaps in an hour or so, if I get itchy feet, I might bring in and redo that right hand one just for that little bit of extra peace of mind. From what I could see, the rig went down sort of extended rather than tangled up. From what I could see above the water, what happened once it started sinking, God only knows. So anyway, oh, weather, horrible. I've got a catapult here, and of course I'm going to try and put a bit of bait out over where those rigs are. I sort of just eyeballed where the rigs hit the water and tried to burn the image of it into my brain to try and sort of have half an idea. Sorry, something just flew out of my bucket there. To try and have half an idea of where to catapult these boilies. So here are the boilies. Oh, hello, pouring the water out. Let's see if I can show you. Oh, there we go. They're in there anyway. They've been soaking in this sort of liquor of water mixed with manila glug, and actually There's one that's just come out, and they're now really quite soft, and hopefully they've got bags of flavour in, which will sort of pump out in that turbulent water out there. I've got to be honest and say I'm not feeling very confident this evening. I never seem to do very well in bad weather. I don't know if it does necessarily put the fish off of feeding, or it's just because I fish worse in bad weather. But for whatever reason, I've never had much success. So yeah, confidence is low. But as the old saying goes, you do have to be in it to win it. And well, I'm in it at least. Let's see if I can catapult some of these out. The wind's died down a little bit for the moment, so now's the time. Well, been fishing for about an hour now, and absolutely nothing has happened except for the weather has improved. Look at this, not too bad. The wind is still whipping through, although nowhere near as strong as it was, and the sun has come out. And not only that, but we've seen a carp jump right on the far bank, but down this end where we're fishing, and then we saw another one poke its head out about halfway across and a bit further down, but not a million miles away from where we're actually fishing. So confidence is now a little bit higher, and yeah, I'm feeling like we can go into the evening with a little bit more optimism. Fingers crossed. Okay, well, it's now 7:15. It's just about dark. You might have noticed I've actually redone both rods just before the sun started setting, and they cast much more nicely, thanks to the fact that the wind had died down and it had stopped raining for a bit, and the sun came out, and it was just nice, and the casts went much better. So I'm really happy with how they went out there and how they landed, and I managed to get a few pouches of boilies over the top of roughly where the rigs are, as best I could anyway. So yeah, I think I'm in with as good a shot as I can. I'm kind of feeling like maybe I should have cast further across, sort of towards the far bank, or like right off of the far bank, because we've now seen 2 fish jump on that far bank. Not exactly where I am on the lake, a little bit further to my right, one of them, and quite a lot further to my right, the other one. More sort of where James is fishing. He's got one right over there, because he reacted to what he'd seen. So we'll see if that pays off. Let's hope so. That'd be really cool. If just one of us catches one, it'll be success, to be honest. But yeah, so not masses of fish showing themselves, but we've probably seen, in the sort of 2.5-3 hours that I've been kicking around here, we've probably seen 3 or 4 fish. I don't think any of them look particularly massive, although this lake does hold some really nice fish, some to sort of mid-20s, which is just be amazing to catch one of them. And as I always say, you do have to be in it to win it. So hey, we're both in it. We both sort of just having a chat, then just stood up on the high bank looking down at the lake, which is when we saw one of these fish. Actually, we both think we're gonna give it a good go until like midnight before we start thinking about packing it all in. So yeah, the traps are set, and there's every chance of a bite. Just have to wait and hope now, really, I suppose. Apologies again, I say this every time I upload, but apologies again for the long wait in a video from me. I know I've mentioned it before, I don't like to talk about it too much on YouTube, but I do have a chronic health condition, and sometimes it flares up and it just wipes me out, and that's what's happened recently for the last 4, 5, 6 weeks even. I've really not been able to do much physically, been sort of wiped out. So yeah, not been a great time. So to get out this evening for a bit of fishing is a real tonic. It's a real good bit of medicine. And do you know what? I felt better since being here than I have in weeks and weeks. So yeah, the healing power of fishing, eh? It's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, so although initially I was feeling quite pessimistic and thinking there's no chance, I think that's kind of turned around in my head now. I'm feeling more optimistic, and yeah, just sort of like genuinely hoping that it happens now. So we shall see. In the meantime, I've got a nice flask of tea right here. I'm gonna drink one of these, probably call home, just say hello to the family, because I haven't seen them since I cleared off after the school run today, and just kick back and enjoy the evening. I'm under the brolly. It is raining again now, but hey, I'm sheltered, and I don't know about you guys, but there's something really sort of cool and cozy about being under a cover whilst it's raining outside. By cover I mean the brolly. Yeah, there's something really sort of magical about that I really enjoy. I feel it's really sort of, you feel sort of all enclosed and snug, which is quite cool. It's not particularly cold. I've got my thermals on, which is really keeping me nice and toasty. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be a really cold one, and it's just great to be out here again. So time to relax, and of course I will update you if anything happens. Well guys, I was just tinkering with my phone when I heard James's alarm screaming. This is one cast to the other side of the lake, James. And he has hooked a fish, but his reel handle has snapped off, and he's having to reel it in using a very unorthodox method. Absolutely mad. He's trying to keep pressure on the fish, but struggling a bit. So it'd be a miracle if he manages to land it. I'm going to help him with the net, and hopefully we'll be able to show you a fish. Top angling. Well guys, there's a turn up for the books, isn't it? I did say that James had taken the decision to react to those couple of fish that we saw on the far bank and cast all the way across there. He walked around to that bank and just underarmed a couple of handfuls of boilies in over the top of his rig, and it's paid off. So top angling to him. Top angling as well for landing the fish without a reel handle. That was a really interesting fight, but he did well, and I netted it for him. and he's just getting himself sorted now, and we'll take a photo. I'll take a little bit of video so you can see the fish. Looked like a half decent one too, double figures, 10, 11 pounds I reckon at a guess, and a really clean looking mirror carp. So yeah, top angling. Wish I'd followed suit now and cast across to that far bank, because I've now got the feeling that I've made the wrong decision by persevering with my rigs roughly halfway across. But hey, you live and learn. There's still time anyway. It's still only just gone 7 o'clock now, so it's just coming up to 10 past 7. So yeah, early days really, even though it is pitch black out there. And between us, we've caught a fish. The royal we. James did it. Let's go and have a look. Okay, guys.
There you go. Just as it's getting dark, left-hand rod screams off. Strike the fish. Handle on the reel breaks, and I have to wind this little beauty in by hand. But yeah, 15 pound, beautiful fish. Look at that.
Nice mirror. Very well done, mate. Now I want to catch one myself. Good work. Well guys, it's just coming up to midnight now, and the temperature has really dropped. Absolutely nothing else has happened since James landed that fish. He managed to sort a spare reel out that he had in the car, and he recast to pretty much where he was fishing previously. It's never easy in the dark to cast back exactly where you were fishing for, but it's definitely in the zone, and nothing else forthcoming, and my rods have remained absolutely silent. Not a single bleep or lift of the bobbin, apart from when the wind did it. And yeah, it just hasn't been my day. Yeah, I think it's probably time I started slowly packing up and calling it a day for this particular session. Gutted that I haven't managed to catch one, but I'm going to get myself back down here ASAP. And try again. Seeing James catch that lovely mirror has really inspired me, and I know there's bigger ones in here, some sort of like £10 bigger than that. So yeah, it'd be awesome to put one on the bank. So I'm going to keep trying, but for now, I need to get myself back home and to bed. So if you've watched this, thanks so much for watching. Catch you again really soon.